Chapter 2 Hydrogenous Solar Sun Firestorm. Now heading towards this glowing gaseous day star sun, the remaining hopefuls soon followed. Not having to wear sunglasses, these aspirants could stare at this sun without hurting their eyes. Flying in single file in the back of the line for just a few minutes, Ares and Aphrodite got bored, then started zigzagging, cutting everybody off to proceed to the front of the line while ignoring the others' verbal warnings on how dangerous it was. This daring couple continued their reckless ways. Not paying much attention, Ares accidentally sideswiped Aphrodite, taking the lead. Panicking very much, Aphrodite was knocked out of control and became hysterical. Frozen in horror, her whole body became very tense. With her hand turning the accelerator all the way, she headed directly towards the sun's corona surface. Very quickly, her friends had to devise a plan to rescue her. "Turn away from that star now, Aphrodite!" Ares shouted as he flew closer to help her. "Hades, please text Zeus or Gaia and explain to them this dreadful situation," Poseidon yelled as he tried flying closer. "Okay, I'll email them immediately about this dire consequence," Hades answered loudly to Poseidon. "Come on, Cronus, let's spring into action and physically push her out of the path of destruction," Hermes voiced bravely to her as this energetic duo raced into action. "Okay, I'll try to grab her and steer her away from the star," Cronus revealed as she tried to reach her, but couldn't. "Hold on, Aphrodite. I'll try to deflect you at a 45-degree angle," Hades informed her as she tried unsuccessfully to fly parallel to her. "I'll ride adjacent to her and disengage the power system by disabling the terminals," Poseidon notified Hades before also failing. "This is too scary. Let's fly back," Uranos alerted Selene as they both cowardly started to fly back to Earth. "I'm right behind you. I know we shouldn't have come on this trip," Selene dissuaded Uranos as she frighteningly followed him. "Row, row, row, row," Helios barked with much warning as he looked back at the action while riding on Uranos' scooter's handlebars. Continuing their escape, they coincidentally met up with Zeus and Gaia. Asking for the location of these troubled ones, this unwilling couple reluctantly escorted their leaders. After arriving to the chaos within minutes, these two bosses officially took charge. "Come on, everybody, let's all rescue Aphrodite," Zeus ordered. "Yes, let's all get into position and help her," Gaia advised them very calmly. "Uranos, please fly close to Hades, then have Helios jump on her handlebars to try to save Aphrodite," Zeus kindly instructed as Uranos intensely quivered but obliged grudgingly. Yes, maybe Helios could gently grab her shirt collar with his paw's claws and pull her away from the star, Gaia figured. "Sure, me and Helios will do it now." Uranos complied very anxiously, then sped up, making the transaction. "Okay, Helios, we're close to her. Gently grab onto her collar now," Hades ordered Helios, but with no luck. So as everybody flew closer to the sun, it got hotter and hotter. All of a sudden, a hellishly fiery flame came roaring towards them. Very quickly, everyone swerved out of the way. Then while they all stared at her in horror, Aphrodite was heading right towards this large eruption, known as a solar flare. With everybody else petrified of this hydrogenous solar firestorm, Hades devised a plan in her head. Immediately taking off, she vigorously veered around the flames and got closer to the rescue. With all shouting at Aphrodite to turn out of harm's way, she just couldn't bring herself to do so. As she soared through the fire, they all thought the unthinkable just occurred, then started screaming. Very fortunately for Aphrodite, because its molecules are very far apart, the flames won't burn anyone. Still in grave danger, she was still heading towards the sun's corona surface. With her plan still in effect, Hades and Helios finally pulled up next to Aphrodite. "Helios, lean far to the left and gently bite down on Aphrodite's suit collar. Then pull her right to steer her out of danger. Do it right now, please, Hades demanded politely. Obeying her command on cue, this dauntless man's best friend tilted westward. Trying to grasp onto Aphrodite's apparel with his teeth, Helios just couldn't grip it. Losing precious time, this massive 865,000-mile-wide burning sphere appeared to be getting larger and larger. Hurry, Helios, this is our last chance, Hades wept loudly. So, as the others still watched in horror, he leaned a little more and clamped down on her collar. Biting down, using all his strength, Helios finally pulled Aphrodite away. Just as soon as Aphrodite was secured, Hades made a hard right to avoid a collision with this yellow dwarf star. Barely missing this, she would have flown through its corona, chromosphere, photosphere, convection zone, radioactive zone, then hit its 27 million degree core, and then would have disintegrated. Right after watching this very chilling and heroic rescue from afar, these spectators burst into very loud, cheerful cries of joy. Returning to reunite with their schoolmates, they all took turns carrying and parading this brave dog while clapping and cheering excessively. Ending this very long celebration, all these partygoers lined up side by side, facing the sun from 1,000,000 miles away. With their original intention, it took only a few minutes to recharge their vehicle's batteries. Watching in amazement, they were all stunned by its dark circular areas. Known as sunspots, their average sizes are twice that of Earth. Visible to observe, they disappear after about 2 months. While everybody else was gazing at this astronomical phenomenon, by calculating the speed of these sunspots, Poseidon and Hades determined that our sun's equator spins at about 4,500 miles per hour and takes 25.5 days to rotate. Very soon after these two intellects showed off their sophisticated equation, Zeus and Gaia flew back to headquarters and sent them their next set of instructions.